We'll have a moment of silent meditation and pledge to the flag. Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. It is 10:02. All three county commissioners here. And we will call the meeting to order. We'll start with consents and approvals. See, I haven't had all my coffee yet. That's the problem.
Okay, all right. Good morning.
Good morning.
13 exonerations for $7,470.14. Minutes for April 27th, 2022. Vouchers, General County Fund, $172,931.48. 911, $147. Chestnut Ridge Park, $223.28. Camp Monthly, $2,078.86. Mason Dixon Park, $14,816.49. Mon County Center, $851.15. Recreation levy, $616.04. Assessor's valuation, $47. Mon County ARPA funds, $44,500. Parks and Recreation, $27,952.18. Purchasing card vouchers, General County Fund, $36,647.65. 911, $387.77. Chestnut Ridge Park, $3,196.41. Camp Muffley, $3,769.02. Mason Dixon Park, $199.21. For a voucher total of $308,363.54. We have contingent vacancies for boards and authorities listed on our website, and fiduciary orders for May 4th, 2022.
Move to approve consent agenda as presented.
Second. All those in favor? First and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ooh.
We also have an itemized statement of services for Fiduciary Commissioner George Armistead.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There we go.
There is one pending item. It was the objection to creditor claims in the estate of Chadwick Chapman. You didn't actually table it last week, but we're still waiting on the recommendation from your Fiduciary Commissioner on that. So
Okay.
I'll just kind of keep that hanging out there until we actually
Great.
get one.
Thank you for mentioning.
Okay. Introduction of new employees and personnel changes.
Okay, we've got several.
Okay.
The first one is actually on the agenda. Natalie Van Arsdale is being hired by the Youth Services Center as a part-time relief worker, and she is going to start on May 9th. Part-time, $13.20 per hour, not eligible for benefits.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is on behalf of Candy McCauley, Magistrate Court Clerk. They are asking for permission to hire Linda Jane Van Kirk from Morgantown regarding the Worthless Check Clerk Fund. They have a project that they're doing some scanning, and they need somebody to do part-time work. $14,820 per year annually, which is $15 an hour, 19 hours per week. No benefits.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank
And
you.
the last is for Chestnut Ridge Park. Daniel Fowler is part-time seasonal without benefits. Start date of May 9th, 2022. Pay rate will be $11 per hour.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Okay. At this time, we will have comments from the public. If anyone would like to come up and speak, they have the right. Please state your name, your address, and then you get to speak for up to 5 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak at this time?
Not particularly.
Okay. Okay, well, good. Well, we always offer that opportunity. Okay, at this time now we'll have a proclamation of Infrastructure Week. And we have someone here to read it. If you want to come and state your name, and feel free to please read it.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Tony Fieni,
Hey, Tony.
and I'm an attorney with Steptoe and Johnson here in town, but today I'm representing the Morgantown Area Partnership. And with your permission, I'd like to read
Go right ahead.
this year's Infrastructure Week proclamation. Whereas the week of May 16th through 20th, 2022 is observed as Infrastructure Week, and whereas nationally, decades of deferred maintenance and underfunding have pushed our infrastructure to the point of crisis, with preventable failures occurring as a result. And the United States of America risks losing its competitive advantage to foreign economies by failing to adequately invest in its infrastructure. And every dollar invested in infrastructure generates nearly $2 in economic output. The American economy is wasting both time and money due to our failing infrastructure. And to grow our economy, keep Americans safe, and strengthen our communities, all levels of government must work together, along with the private sector, to rebuild and repair our nation's infrastructure. And nationally, Infrastructure Week has been established to highlight our infrastructure needs, educate the general public on the importance of our infrastructure, and encourage our leadership at the federal, state, and local levels to support future infrastructure projects. Bear with me. And whereas Mon County, West Virginia, relies on critical infrastructure such as our modes of transportation, roads, bridges, railways, waterways, and airport, our modes of communication, broadband internet, telephone lines, and radio towers, our modes of organization, government buildings, public safety buildings, hospitals, and public schools, our modes of operation, water and sewer system, electric grid, gas lines, and our modes of recreation and active transportation, our public parks, railways, sidewalks, and bicycle lanes, for our overall connectivity to the regional, national, and global economies through the aforementioned modes. This is our critical infrastructure. And finally, whereas investments in our critical infrastructure enhances our local economy, quality of life, public health and safety, and strengthens our communities, as demonstrated by the recent infrastructure investments of improvements to the modes of transportation to Beechhurst Avenue, Greenbag Road, Mile Ground Road, West Run Road, and Van Voorst Road, as well as the Morgantown Airport's runway extension. Expansions to the modes of communication with broadband developments by planning middle mile networks. Renovations to our modes of organization with renovations to City Hall. Upgrades to our modes of operation in the Morgantown Utility Board's Flegel Dam and Reservoir. And finally, extensions in the modes of recreation and active transportation with the Collins Ferry Rail Trail Connector. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Monongalia County Commission officially recognizes the week of May 16th, 2022 as Infrastructure Week, and urges the citizens of our community to join in this special observance with appropriate acknowledgments and learning opportunities found at National Infrastructure Week website, infrastructureweek.org. So I respectfully submit this for your signatures, Commissioners, to proclaim Infrastructure Week 2022.
Move that we approve the proclamation as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Did anyone want to say anything? Or?
Yeah, thank you, Tony, for
Yeah.
coming here and doing this, because it's very important. A lot of times, especially in Mon County, infrastructure, we have so much growth that infrastructure isn't always at the tip of the spear. And we really, as a commission, we've tried to change that dynamic where we're looking at infrastructure as we're planning on economic development. So it's critical that we take that approach and plan rather than react. Making people educated on Infrastructure Week and everything we have going on in the county and how we're trying to address all those different issues is very important, and really what comprises infrastructure. You know, people don't always think of broadband, for instance. That is infrastructure. That's economic development, and of course all the road projects you mentioned. You left one out, which is should be left out because it's still in the planning stage, but this time next year, I hope it's front and center. It's the Harmony Grove Interchange and how critical that is to bringing development all the way through that side of the county and bringing through the industrial park and then opening up the whole other side of the interchange. So we really appreciate your efforts to focus the citizens' attention on infrastructure in this county. It's very important. So.
Well, thank you, Sean. And if I may, with another minute or two,
Sure, go ahead.
promote our Infrastructure Week event. To your point, and my apologies on the interchange. We will make a note of that.
Well, that's quite all right. Yeah.
But this year for free, Ben, if you'd like to help us promote this message, through the Morgantown Area Partnerships events page, you can sign up for free panels. And like Sean said, the first panel will focus on planning. So the comprehensive plans, the university's 2033 plan, the MMPO plan. The theme this year is connectivity, and so we're really attempting to help educate the public on the plans of infrastructure development for the next 10 years. And then shortly thereafter, there will be a second panel that focuses on financing. I think many of the questions that the average resident of Mon County has are what is happening and how are we going to pay for it. Hopefully, we'll be able to answer those two questions and help sound the message for bipartisan infrastructure development moving forward. So thank you, Sean. Sean will be a panelist in that event, and I hope that many people sign up and join us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead and sign.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
First two-pager.
It's a two-pager. Okay. Next, we have a presentation from the West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness and Disability Rights of West Virginia for the Accessibility Housing Pilot Project. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Gina Desmond, a senior advocate with Disability Rights of West Virginia. So let me pose a question to you. How can someone go home when they cannot even get to the front door? As you know, there are many individuals experiencing homelessness in Monongalia County. According to the West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness, Monongalia County had 77 people experiencing homelessness in 2020, 71 people in 2021, and 95 so far in 2022. While all that are experiencing homelessness face barriers in obtaining safe, affordable housing, individuals with disabilities meet additional obstacles, especially those with mobility impairments or are wheelchair users. One of the most prevalent obstacles is the lack of accessible, available, affordable housing and rental units in Monongalia County. The West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness facilitated hotel stays for 11 individuals in their catchment area beginning in 2021. Those individuals all needed housing with accessibility modifications due to mobility impairments or use of wheelchairs. The average length of stay in a hotel was 140 days at a cost of $8,500. Two of those individuals were from Monongalia County, and over a year later, one of those individuals remains in a hotel costing over $25,000. This far exceeds the cost of monthly rent at just over $2,000 per month. I come here today to propose that Disability Rights of West Virginia collaborate with the West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness and the Monongalia County Commission to help bring an end to this issue. This collaboration would seek landlords who would be interested in making their rental units accessible for individuals with disabilities experiencing homelessness. Based on the feedback we receive, we can look for and apply for funds to assist landlords with these costs of modifying the units. Disability Rights of West Virginia would be available to provide technical assistance regarding housing rights and responsibilities for both tenants and landlords, as well as accessibility standards. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone want to, 'cause I would like to add some comments, but
Sure, go ahead.
The homelessness in Mon County is certainly an issue at the forefront right now, as is evidenced by the microburst that hit the Bartlett House and the Hazel's House of Hope the other day, and it's 18, I believe, or
21.
residents have been temporarily housed in a hotel, creating a hardship on Bartlett House and of course on them. So if it's appropriate at this juncture, I'd like to make a motion that we allocate the $10,000 to the Bartlett House to use at their discretion to assist with this transition and housing these folks in the hotel until the situation up there is remedied and they can get back in the building. And if we need to do that in new business, I can remake the motion then, but if it's appropriate now, I'd make that motion.
I have no problem if it's done now.
No, I would go ahead and second that motion.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is the perfect time, and then we can talk about it, but I think it's the perfect time to do that. So we have a motion and a second to allocate $10,000 to Bartlett House at their discretion to help deal with the situation in the housing of those individuals. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. I think that is a great idea.
Now, there's two separate things, because what
Yes.
Gina's talking about, and
Yeah.
again,
Right.
that
That
has
was a
just come up.
separate because of that, which
Yeah.
is good.
But
Okay.
as far as our participation or this, what she's talking about.
Yes. Basically, give a background information. West Virginia Coalition to End Homelessness provides almost $350,000 in rental assistance. And what happened was Rachel came in, we meet monthly, and Rachel said, we have a problem that we don't know what to do. We have these people, and when she said $25,000 for 1 year of housing someone in a hotel is just, I mean, rental, a mortgage, that's just so high. So what we thought of, we came together and said, well, what is the possibility of maybe with the funds available? And then we called in Gina, and I really appreciate Gina. Gina, we've worked with through the county when we've had to get accessibility concerns and questions for the parks and for our buildings. And we said, what could we do to make this accessible for these people? So what we want to do, and basically all we're doing right now in the county is offering the service to call, and you'll see we have a flyer where it says that they will call the county, give the name of the landlord who may be interested, who has buildings or rental units that are on the first floor that can be made accessible. We do not know that until then. We'll go out to visit it and then see if it's close to a bus line and it meets the other requirements. So the three of us will basically get together to just see if it's possible. Then we will go out to, there is funds available, and then that would be step two. But
Those were federal funds, right? That are
yes, they're federal funds. And basically, I do want to say, and I can't say enough about Rachel Cohen, and Ben, you're actually going to be in this, Home for Holidays Meet Expectations. And when people said this couldn't be done, back in December of 2019, we had put in 27 people, Home for the Holidays, off the streets. So it was an idea that we came up with. And again, I really want to thank Gina and Rachel that this would be a catalyst for other programs in the county. And the key being this, that what we're doing is we're being part of the solution and also offering incentives so that everyone works together. And that was the concept of 2 years ago, and we're trying to bring this up again. And hopefully other governments will see that you don't need committees, but you can actually solve problems immediately, and that's what we're going to try and do. So I really want to thank also the commission for allowing me to move with this project, and the commission to support it. Go ahead.
And if I understand correctly, Gina, what you're talking about now is a program where if local landlords can make their apartments more accessible,
Right.
That they can apply through you guys for funds to make those modifications?
So disability rights, we do not have funds. I would
Okay.
just come in and help provide like the technical assistance
West
on
Virginia
that sort of
Coalition
stuff.
Correct.
Is
But-
able to access
yeah,
those funds.
But we can help assist the landlords in applying for, you know, grants and funds. And the Coalition and Homelessness would have more information on the grants that are available, but can assist with
That would
the
help
application process.
Make those modifications so that their apartments would be accessible,
Accessible.
so that these individuals would have a place to
Can
live.
get out of the hotel for
Yeah.
over a year. And,
Well,
yeah.
that's wonderful, and I mean, I think any way that we can participate is welcome, so.
And we believe there are a dozen individuals right now that could use it. And our goal would be, six people by the end of the year, maybe a dozen in a year, but we do not know, again, because until we see what is offered and where it is by the bus lines or transportation, that is key. But I can't thank enough Gina and Rachel for, in 5 hours, we put together a project, an idea, and let's see if it works. And that's what it is. It's a pilot project, and hopefully it'll be a model for other projects down the road.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll get landlords to apply. Our resource development
Yes.
person has developed a flyer that Tom has,
And we gave that to the newspaper, too. Thank you very much.
Well, and while Gina's still here, I want to thank you, again, I thanked you before the meeting, but I want to thank you publicly. The county should thank you publicly for the work you do in assisting our Parks Department and making sure all of our parks are accessible. So I know you do that free of charge, and you offer that advice, but it makes our parks more accessible and more for all of our citizens, and I really appreciate that, and I think the public ought to know the work that you do. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
So, all right, thank you.
If I may.
No, I'm sorry, you're not permitted to, okay? You can only talk during the public portion, but you can talk with us afterwards if you like, okay? Thanks, we'd be more than willing to do that. Thank you. Announcement of the 2022 County Government Month Essay Contest winners.
Yeah.
You have those?
Hang on
Yes, I
just a
don't.
second.
I know the one name offhand, but,
I know, the one name I can't, yeah, and the one I can't say, so.
oh, I need.
That's why we're letting
pronunciation-
her do it.
The pronunciation of the one young man's name is Kareem.
Kareem.
Would you care if we came back to that quickly?
Sure, no,
And-
okay, we will come back to that at the
Can you
end.
go grab that folder?
Okay, no problem. Do we have any grants? Okay, if you could go get that. Thank you very much. That was my mistake. I left it there. Okay. Do we have any correspondence?
Yeah, I have two items.
Okay.
The first one is a letter of support that the commission approved on Friday regarding the Mon Health Medical Center's Pathways to Success Breaking Down Workforce Barriers program. They're seeking funding under the Power 2022 grant in the amount of $522,000, and that is through the Appalachian Regional Commission.
Right.
Okay.
Then the second one is a letter from March Weston. This was sent to the commission, a copy of the commission and it was a letter to the contractors, employees, vendors, and suppliers of the construction job that's going on at Morgantown Industrial Park regarding the complaints that the Mrs. Panico brought up last week at your meeting.
Correct. Yes, and this was a memo, it was sent to, actually, I'll read you the email, where Jamie Ridgway, the project manager from Arch Weston, sent this to us and said, the attached memo is being distributed to everyone on the job site, and identifies the safety director, and they will be at meetings next week reviewing with everyone. We're also going to install signage along River Road to indicate that trucks are entering the highway. Finally, for the rest of the school year, we're going to put flaggers at the intersection of Master Graphics Road and River Road during the bus pickup and drop-off times. By the time school starts this fall, we should be able to route most of the truck traffic through the industrial park. Hopefully, these steps will eliminate any future issues. And then the memo itself basically is to all the contractors that are doing business at the construction site that they have to, the rules they have to adhere to. So I want to appreciate the developer and March Westing for acting so quickly to get that complaint resolved. So
Yes.
in addition, the sheriff, I talked to the sheriff's department, and they have a grant which looks at areas that have concerns regarding bus safety.
Oh, good.
And they put that on their list, so they'll regularly patrol it. So.
Do you have anything else?
Not in correspondence, no.
Okay. Do you either have? I'm excited. I received a letter from the governor, and it says, "Congratulations, dear Commissioner Bloom, on the Local Economic Development Assistance Grant you have been awarded by the West Virginia House of Delegates. Please find and close a check for $4,000 as requested by the West Virginia House of Delegates member," and that was Dave Pethel, "to be used to assist the Clavertel FFA Alumni Association to replace the livestock barn and exhibit building." And Clavertel FFA Alumni Association have reached out to Dave, and Dave came back, and I met with him, and he got a check from the governor's office for $4,000. And we will make them aware of that. I want to thank Dave for that. Okay. How about unfinished business? For the first time, we can say, what were you have the names of the,
Well, technically, that's not unfinished
oh,
business.
sorry, well, I'm dying to put something under unfinished business, okay.
I mean, if you want to do that before.
No, that's
new
fine.
business.
Okay, we'll go back to the actual names, announcements of the winners.
Okay. So, third place, we have Stella Carlson from Louise Avenue. And these are all from Mountaineer Middle School.
Correct.
Second place is Karim
It's actually
Raj.
Kareem. It's actually Kareem.
Kareem.
I
We've
got
had to work on
confirmation on
that.
Okay.
I found that out the other day.
Okay, great. And first place is Chloe Addy. So did we get a response back from the teacher?
We will be contacting them.
So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have a visit. We'll present them with their certificates and their checks.
Right,
And then they're going to help you run a meeting.
help to run the meeting.
Yes.
Good. Well, thank you for doing this. I thank Mountaineer Middle for providing it. And hopefully next year, what we're considering doing is all of us will go to the different schools. It was difficult this year, but maybe next year we'll be able to go to the different schools and talk. Thank you. We have no unfinished business, correct? Okay. New business. Consider the proposal provided by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield for county employee health insurance premiums.
Move to approve the Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance proposal as presented.
Second.
Probably moved in second. Do you have any discussion or explanation or?
Just a little bit. There is a slight increase over last year's, about a 6% increase over last year's total premium cost to the county. And I believe it's the commission's, we may need a second motion, but I believe it's the commission's desire to absorb those costs, and those won't be passed on to the employees. If you,
I can make a motion to tack that on to the first motion, to approve it, and as well to approve
parliamentarian, how would that?
It's acceptable if it's the maker and you're willing to amend it, then we could just make it part of the motion.
That would be fine. So the motion is to approve the
Right.
health insurance proposal
With.
with the understanding that the commission will be absorbing the employee cost, and there'll be no cost passed on to employees for the next plan year, which is 8/1/22 through 7/31/23.
Second the motion.
Okay.
And as far as those increases, again, this year was a 6% increase, and I want to applaud our brokers, USI, that really work to drive these costs down. Every year when we're planning, we're in a double-digit range as far as increases, and they always manage to work their magic and get it through to a single-digit increase. And over the past 6 years, the commission has absorbed these costs. In 17, the cost was $434,000, which we absorbed. In 18, beginning of the year, Plan 18, the cost we actually had a savings of $230,000, which the commission absorbed. The following year, it was $394,000. The year after that, it was $431,000, and last year it was $190,000. So over the years, the commission has absorbed for $1.5 million in costs that would otherwise have been passed on to the employees. So I want to commend the commission for their work to try to keep the benefits as a county employee very competitive with the outside world. I think it's helped with employee retention, and our employees deserve it. Our employees make us look good every day, so I'm glad that we have the room and we have the financial capability in this county to absorb those costs. So.
Great.
I just want to make one note that the proposal actually does also include dental.
Oh.
Our dental rate actually went up 12.82%. We actually saw a decrease last year, but I think they're making it up this year. But
Okay.
so 12.82%.
Okay.
And the vision
Yeah.
is we're still locked in for
In the same.
this coming plan year. So
Okay. It's been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now, part two of that is consideration to contribute $2,000 to health savings accounts for each employee participating in the high deductible health plan as part of the county's group health insurance, and establish that those contributions will be made in full at the inception of the plan year beginning August 1st, 2022.
Move to approve a contribution of $2,000 to a health savings account for each employee participating in the county's high deductible health insurance plan. These contributions will be made in one lump sum at the beginning of the plan year, starting 8/1/22.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion, or it's really
I think this is the
Well-
6th year we've had this plan in place.
Yes.
And over the years,
Third year,
we've,
fourth year?
no, when we started the high deductible plan, we had a health savings account, and
Okay.
we've been paying into it since. So, again, I'm glad that we can provide this benefit to our employees, and look forward to our employees utilizing their health insurance. And the whole purpose of this high deductible plan was to have our employees become better consumers. And we've over the years we've pulled more employees into this plan and actually helped keep those costs down. So those percentages I talked about would otherwise be a lot higher. So it's a symbiotic relationship, and it's working, and that's all.
Okay, properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consideration to approve a request by Pastors Prayer Fellowship for use of the courthouse square on May 8th, 2022.
Move to approve the request as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Consideration to approve a request by Main Street Morgantown for use of the courthouse square on October 8th, 2022.
Move to approve the request as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consider an appointment to the Mason-Dixon Historical Park Advisory Board.
received an application for Victor Hellier from Jakes Run Road. I believe he's a volunteer at the park.
Yes.
Move to approve the appointment to the Mason-Dixon Historical Park Advisory Board as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consideration to approve requisition number 6 for the University Town Center Series 2020 Property Tax District Administrative Expense Fund.
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you?
The requisition is for $993.75, and this has been requested by Unicap for their services.
Right.
Move to approve requisitions 6 as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And finally, consideration to approve requisition number 61 for the University Town Center Excise Tax District Administrative Expense Fund.
The requisition is for $1,593.75, and again, that's going to be paid to Unicap.
Motion to approve requisition 61 as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Do we have any other new business? Good. Seeing none. Any reports from elected officials? Seeing none. Jeff, do you want to go first?
Just a couple things. I'd like to publicly thank March Weston for their efforts in a couple of areas over the past week. First off, we talk about we have the public comment section, and it really works. We had some concerned citizens come in last week and discuss an issue at the Industrial Park and Master Graphics Road, and thanks to the efforts of Commissioner Sikora, along with our developer and March Weston, within 48 hours there was a plan put in place to address those concerns. So when we know about the problems, when citizens tell us about them, where we take action, we can. And March Weston jumped right on that, as well as our developer, In Route Properties, to alleviate the situation and address the situation before it became a larger safety issue. Also, March Weston, everyone I'm sure read in the paper how the microburst that hit the Ramada ripped the roof off and caused a lot of damage to the building, displacing the residents at the Bartlett House and disrupting services at that center. Within 24 to 36 hours, March Weston had the roof back on to help remediate any further damage, and they're working diligently to get that facility back open. It's pretty incredible, the response time and how they address that need and put that priority above all the other things I'm sure they have going on. So we thank them for their efforts. And lastly, just on the health insurance, that is, we're glad that we can continue to provide the level of health insurance that we do to our employees and to absorb those costs. Working for the county can be a hard job depending on what department you're in, but this is one thing that we feel we can do to kind of thank our employees and to actually in a retention type of mode as well, to keep them engaged and keep them here, because we do appreciate all the work that they do.
Thank you.
That's all I've got.
Thank you, Jeff. Since the last meeting, after last Wednesday's commission meeting, I had to map Morgantown Area Partnership Board meeting that evening. Last Thursday, I met with, along with our administrator, we met with our Mon County Center Director to talk about the build-out. And then I also had a call with the Aquatic and Track Center Director to talk about concerns about that good problems that happened with the track event that we had up there a couple weeks or the week before. And then I had a broadband call with the Development Authority to start talking about our efforts to create a broadband authority inside of the Development Authority. Friday we had staff reports. This week, yesterday, I went out to the western ends of the county where there's no cell service, out to Joe Statler's cabin, and had breakfast. Joe cooked breakfast for a bunch of us, and it was our regular monthly meeting. We said, well, rather than have it at Eaton Park, let's go to Joe's cabin. So it was thanks to Joe. And then last night I attended with my daughter and Jackie the Morgantown Girls Lacrosse Banquet, which was held down at Oliverios. Today we had our call with Greene County before our meeting this morning. It's a regular day, and then tonight Mon County Championships at the track, at the Aquatic and Track at Milan Park. So looking forward to seeing, hopefully the weather will cooperate, and looking forward to, I love when the middle school events have events up there, because they just overwhelm the facility, and it's great to see the public out utilizing that facility. So looking forward to it. Tomorrow I have a Milan Park Foundation meeting. We're talking about the planning for the grand opening for the new addition. And then in the afternoon, I believe we have a meeting with Morgantown Community Resources to talk about their operations, and obviously high on the agenda would be the storm that passed through this weekend. I do, as Commissioner Arnett had indicated, I do want to appreciate everybody that kind of jumped in and ran to the fire, as seems to be the phrase everybody says in the last couple of years, courtesy of Governor Justice. But really, seriously, as that storm was happening, it was still going on, and Tom was stuck in Ashton Estates because his development got inundated, and there was trees down everywhere. He would have been up there, but I was getting calls from Ron Justice and Mark Nessel Road as to the status. Jimmy Smith. So our 911 was up there. EMS was, Forrest called me looking for the number for Mountain Line as they were looking to get bus service, and they got a hold of the school, and the school provided bus service to take the individuals, the residents up there to a hotel. just everybody just jumping in immediately and, trying to provide solutions. And March Weston was on site that night already talking about, how, what they needed to do, and specifically Jamie Ridgway. So, and one thing that I found out yesterday is the reason they were able to put the roof on so quickly is because Ronnie Lytle had ordered a bunch of roofing, and he was preparing for building this spring and had ordered extra roofing, so when they needed roofing, he had it. Otherwise, there's like an 8-week lead time on the materials. So thanks to Lytle Construction and Ronnie Lytle for being a good community partner and jumping in to help too. So it's just about a little bit of everybody helping out. So really appreciate it, and really this is how this county operates whenever there's an issue. We don't sit around and point fingers. We just we see where we can help, and even with the discussion today about providing extra funding to help some of these individuals that are displaced, trying to help them temporarily during until the building gets opened back up. And I'm looking forward to the conversation tomorrow that we're going to have.
Yes.
One other thing I did want to point out, and I asked this week, and Jimmy Smith did confirm that U.S. Cellular is up and operational on the Daybrook Tower.
Yay.
So that if you have cellular issues on that side of town, it's not due to the tower.
Yeah.
So that's all I have, Tom.
I'm like, yeah, too. I'm already getting phone calls saying, well, I'm not, I said, please contact US Cellular now, but we have it up and running, so at least, that is moving forward, yeah. Second, I do want to agree with the other two county commissioners. The thunderstorm, microburst, straight line, wind current, whatever they called it, was something else. We in National Estates got the brunt of it. In fact, I really think by hitting Ramada Inn, it protected us. I mean, I really do believe that. We could not get out of our area. I mean, it was bad for 20 minutes. My wife kept yelling at me to go downstairs to the basement because I really thought our roof of our house was going off. When we talked to the people up at Ramada Inn, I want to personally thank the National Weather Service. They came down, got on the roof, and they said it was 60 miles an hour below, but 90 to 100 miles when it directly hit HHH. And what was amazing is they said if you look out there, you can see a direct line to the other building that was hit, and it's just like,
Skipped.
yeah, it just went straight down, and you could see exactly how it hit. And we were very fortunate that everyone came together, and I think, and that's what makes Monongalia County special. Everyone worked together. At that time, all we wanted to do, that no one got hurt, and everyone was safe. Second, I do want to also say that I attended the Hope Hill Sobering Center board meeting. That was the first one I went to. They were fortunate. They had very little damage. We are moving forward, and our goal is by August 1st to up and running, and we have to have it running. I made the point very clear before the students came back and the college came back. So we are looking towards August 1st. And again, it's just a matter of hiring people. Right now the problem is getting the right people for the position, but we are moving forward on that.
That's why we're really happy to have you as our representative on that board.
Yes, it was, yes. We and also learned my lesson. We have a checklist, punch list of what needs to be done, and we'll be able to share that with you, of what needs to be finalized. And I learned that the hard way too, through being a commissioner. And finally, I do want to say that, of course, we have community events, and the infamous Ashton Yard Sale is this Saturday. So if you just cleaned out your garage and you're looking for other people's junk, we have great junk for you to put in your garage. And that's Saturday from 8 to 2, and it's an enjoyable time. So with that,
Move to adjourn.
Second?
okay, we be gone. Thank you.
And happy May the 4th, everyone.
Yes.